how are you, sir? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. I got to ask you something. Now, you're still pretty thick, still pretty stout. Look like you can still take a pop. If you need me to go and beat up Connor Cook for you, I got you. I mean, do you need me to handle this punk?
No.
Who does Connor Cook think he is trying to dish you?
Well, I tell you what, I think he got caught up in the moment. You know, on those stages like that, lots going on. You can't hear anything. You can't see anything. And I think he was just caught up in the moment more than anything. And I didn't really realize
I saw your expression.
It went down
it didn't
like
look
that.
like you did realize it.
And until the next morning, I started getting a lot of calls from people. And I'm saying, well, what are they talking about? And somebody sent the video to my wife. And I said, whoa. Look out now.
Well, what did you think when you first saw it?
It looked bad. It looked bad.
It did look bad.
Now, he apologized on air afterwards.
Yeah.
Did he apologize to you?
Yes, he did. He called me Sunday.
That
Sunday
called
after
you?
I'd gotten home from Indianapolis. He called me Sunday, and his coach, Mark D'Antonio, called me as well to apologize, and he was really apologetic, no question about it.
How does that conversation start, Mr. Griffin? This is Connor Cook. Listen, I just want to apologize.
I want to apologize.
I know you played for the wrong team, or I played for the wrong team.
I know I wasn't good enough to get recruited by the Buckeyes a couple of years ago.
Well, he's an Ohio guy, so
I know
he probably said that.
That's why I'm saying that.
How did he end up at Michigan State if he's an Ohio guy?
Well, you can't take everybody.
I know.
But you know, he's a great player. I mean, he's done a tremendous job at Michigan State, and again, I think that situation looked a whole lot worse than it really was.
And for those,
because I didn't realize, I really didn't until I saw the video, and that's when he realized it.
I think you're right.
Yeah, that's when he realized it. Because he started getting texts, from what I understand. And
he was getting blown up on Twitter. He was getting eviscerated.
On Twitter. And he was wondering what it was all about, and he looked at the video, and he said, "Oh my goodness!"
Yeah. Now you're not on Twitter, right? I don't think I've seen you. Okay.
Yeah.
Take solace in the fact that all the Twitter nation had your back.
Yeah.
They eviscerated
it, and I appreciate that. But, but again, I think it was one of those situations that looked a lot worse than it really was.
Yeah, and I say this for those. I mean, some watch our show on our stream. I say that with a smile, not trying to really start a problem. I had to bring it up and get your thoughts. The great Archie Griffin with us here in studio. He's got the Heisman the only two-time winner, back-to-back with us here on CBS Sports Radio.
We'll get to some of the Heisman stuff in a second, but I got to talk about the Wendy's High School Heisman, which the ceremony is tonight in New York City, because one of the finalists is actually the daughter of a Heisman Trophy winner. Jada Dane is on this. Tell us about the High School Heisman from Wendy's.
Well, the Wendy's High School Heisman, as you guys know, started about we're in our 22nd year, and I've been involved with it ever since it started. We honor high school seniors who are doing great things in athletics, academics, and in their communities and in their schools. To be eligible, you have to have a B grade point average or better. You got to participate in at least one high school sport that's sanctioned by the National Federation of High School Sports, and you have to be involved in your community. Community service work and really active in your school. Yeah, high character folks. And they are high character, no question about it. If you read these resumes, if you read these applications, you will totally be amazed.
Now there are 10 semifinalists, or 10 finalists, I should say. Who votes on this? Is this?
Well, you have folks from education voting. You have folks from athletics, folks from entertainment. I can't tell you the number of people that voted, but there's quite a few people that vote for this award.
We got one representing us, BT. Long Island, Sean Roche.
A baseball player,
from
right?
Longwood High School in Middle Island, New York.
There we go. I know what Middle Island is. Very nice. He's going to, didn't he commit to Hofstra? So he signed a letter of intent, right? Okay. All right. I mean, if you're that good, go to Florida State. I mean, even Marist, where I played, we beat Hofstra.
If he's that good, you go to Virginia. Virginia won the national championship.
You know what I want to ask? Nobody cares. You know what I want to ask Archie? Tiki and I always, you could tell we have a loose show. We have fun.
Oh, yeah, you know,
a lot of fun. When stereotypes pop up, rather than, oh, God, we can't talk, we have fun with it, okay? Especially athletic stereotypes. Nothing too serious.
Or address it seriously if it needs to be.
Oh, absolutely. That goes without saying. But Christian McCaffrey is rare in the sense is that he's a white running back, unlike Gerhardt. Am I saying this?
Toby Gerhardt.
He was more of a bruiser.
Finished second in 2009.
Or Peyton Hillis, who was good for a minute in the NFL. This kid's fast, and he's shifty, and he's bouncy. What do you see do you see somebody that can translate and do this on Sundays?
Oh, I think he can. I really do. I think he's really shifty. He'd make people miss. And I've even seen him, go over top of people. So I mean, he's got the skills to do it. And the fact that he's a good special teamer, that makes a whole lot of difference, too.
Yeah,
So,
Derrick Henry won all the running back awards, the Doak Walker, the Player of the Year, but Christian McCaffrey actually won the Paul Hornung Award, which is the most versatile athlete. When you look at this crop, these three guys who are the finalists for the Heisman Trophy, it's a little bit different because there's not 4 or 5 or 6, which tells me that the voting was very concentrated on these three guys. How do you handicap this at this point? We're a couple days away.
It's tough, and quite frankly, I would like to have seen at least 5 or 6 guys come.
Can you get Keenan Reynolds there and represent the young man should have been there.
That would have been terrific.
You know?
And I think another guy would have been terrific being there would be Fournette and Ezekiel Elliott, because both of those guys had fantastic seasons that deserving of winning Heisman Trophy if they were voted to win it. And that's just one of the things that bothers me a little bit about the fact that you don't know how many's coming every year. I would like to see it be more consistent.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the process is there's 929 voters, but you can only vote for 3. So as a result, all the voters, if they're only voting for 3, those are the only 3 that are going to make it, as opposed to the guy who might have got a 4th place vote or a 5th place vote being able to get there as well.
That's exactly right. But they usually determine it by the number of points you come up with. So if it would have been close between 5 and if it would have been a big gap between 5 and 6, they'd have brought 5 in.
Yeah,
I mean that's just how they do that. But it's interesting, and I wish they would be consistent and maybe bring 5 or bring 3 in all the time if that's what you're going to do.
Do you think it matters that 2 of the finalists are in the college football playoff? Because that it kind of happened. Maybe you made your decision before the last week of college football. Does that a factor in it? Because Christian McCaffrey's not in the Final Four.
I think it is a factor in it because when you look at the I think the fact that they played in college championship is a real factor. Yeah. Now let me put it that way. I don't know that the Final Four, other than the fact that they're playing on great teams that are winning, but the fact that they played in championship games, playing in that last week, I think made a huge difference. I think if you'd have gone before that, I don't know that the same few would have been there.
Well, I know that we don't even ask you at this point because we respect that you don't divulge, and you can't, who you voted for, but I would imagine that you could be forthright and say that probably, maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago, you probably, in your mind, were committed to Fournette. It radically changed, right? Is that off base?
Yeah. Fournette, before they lost 3 games.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think if you're on a winning team, it's going to definitely have an impact on this vote.
Should it? Should you have to be on a winning team?
Technically not.
I agree with you.
But it certainly helps.
Yeah.
Because
perception.
This person is supposed to be making a difference on your team, and that difference is the fact that you're winning.
Yeah. Great Archie Griffin's in studio, the only 2-time Heisman Trophy winner, Buckeye royalty. And speaking of the Buckeyes, I don't – listen, I do – Urban Meyer, I think, is the best coach in football. I think he's brilliant, right? But I thought he mismanaged the quarterback from week 1. And I'm not saying it was easy to navigate. You want to reward the young man who won the championship. I personally thought Barrett was better for this team myself.
You and a lot of people.
Do you agree with that?
Well, in all honesty, I thought that he should have started Cardale.
You did?
Yes. And let me tell you why.
I did too, by the way.
Let me
I know
tell
you did too.
Cardale won those 3 games that won us a national championship. He was the only player that went all the way through spring practice because everybody else was hurt. Cardale was the only one that went all the way through spring practice, and I thought he deserved to start because of that.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that, given the early results, he should have been pulled earlier than he was? Because you make a very logical point. The repetition in practice when Barrett's recovering from the injury, and we know Braxton was switching positions. Do you think he could have maybe switched earlier?
I think he could, but I think that Urban wanted to make sure that he gave Cardale every opportunity. Because remember, Cardale had a chance to go pro last year, and he made the commitment to stay at Ohio State. So I respect Urban for making sure that he gave this young man every opportunity.
So he rewarded him. That press conference was a big piece of the puzzle, you think?
Yes.
When he decided to come back to Columbus.
Exactly. I do.
Yeah. Okay. Now, another one of those guys who is also leaving this year, because Cardale is leaving I don't know where he's going to be drafted or what kind of success he's going to have on the next level, if at all. But Ezekiel Elliott, who we mentioned earlier, he had some issues against the after they played Michigan State, and he only got, 12 carries or something like that. And, Urban Meyer said he was right. What was the perception of Ezekiel Elliott in Columbus when that happened? Because we know what it was nationally. A lot of people were panning him. Some people saying, "Oh, he's absolutely right. Maybe it wasn't the right time."
I defended him, by the way.
Yeah,
personally.
I'll defend him too.
What was the Ohio State populace saying?
People were shocked that he came out and said that to the media, and it probably wasn't the right place to say it. But I respect him because he said what his team was thinking.
Yeah,
and they will tell you that they were thinking it. They just wouldn't say it. And Ezekiel was the one that said it. And to me, that's a mark of a leader. And they respect Ezekiel for saying it. And quite frankly, it made a difference.
Well, the only drive that they really...
The next week they went out and crushed
it made a difference.
Michigan.
Yeah.
But it also compromised their season.
Yeah.
So it made a difference the next week, but it affected maybe the big picture.
How do you mean affected the big picture?
Because they lost the game.
Oh, they lost the game.
Well, the one drive they had, this, Archie. He got it 9 times. They shoved it down their throat.
Exactly.
Saying,
but that was the point. That's the point he was making.
No, his point affected the season. Not what he said affected the season. His point affected the season.
Correct. Was that out of character for him? Is he?
Because he seems like a great kid.
He's a great guy.
He's a good kid.
He really is. I mean,
right.
Guy gets great grades.
Okay.
I mean, he's the guys. They love him. They look for him. He's the type of guy that has a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And he enjoys being around the guys. The whole works. I mean, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
And so people were shocked that he came out and said, but I think they'd have been shocked if anybody would come out and say that in public.